Okay, hopefully everyone's having a fantastic day. We're in the Sacramento area. We're talking about real estate. Rates are dropping, except for today, they went up just a little bit. But is this the time to buy? A lot of people are kind of looking at rates right now, and they're kind of wondering like, is it going to get better? Is it going to get worse? Like we always say on this channel, try to time your life. Try not to time the market. It's kind of a letdown. We've seen a lot of people lose by doing that. What I will tell you right now is I've been seeing crazy stuff. I think that right now what we're seeing in our market, seasonally, this is a time where everyone's getting ready to go back to school. Everything slows down and everything goes. So it's bizarre that these rates started going down now because everything is somewhat kind of picking up. I don't think everything is picking up crazy, but I do think it's definitely picking up. And I think it's due to these interest rates going down. I do think, though, what I've been seeing out there is that new homes, specifically new homes that have standing inventory, are doing some crazy stuff for rates. We had a client that we were working with this weekend. We actually had a few of them, and they were looking all at new homes. New homes seem to be very, very popular because of all these rates. We went to Taylor Morrison, and this was interesting. We were at Wild Hawk and Vineyards, and we walked in there, and basically we're like, we're looking for something. What do you got? Do you guys have any promotions going on? And the lady over there said, hey, look, we can give you $8,000 towards, buying down your rate or closing costs or whatnot. I was like, that's kind of weird. They don't have it, and they didn't have any standing inventory, so that was one thing. So then we shot over to Richmond American in the Vineyard area as well too, and they had some standing inventory. And this is where it gets interesting. So she was basically saying, for the weekend, we can give you a 4.99 as long as you have the credit score and everything too, and we'll give you an additional $5,000 for if you do it on the weekend. So that was one of the things that was very, very interesting. So then all of a sudden, we shot over to Anatolia. We were at TriPoint, and then TriPoint has said to us, for the most part, look, guys, if you guys come with us, we'll actually give you 6% off your home price towards closing costs or buying down your rate or whatever you want, which ended up being something like $30,000. And then all of a sudden we go over to KHOV in Anatolia, in Rancho, and basically they said to us, we can get you a 3.99 on standing inventory. And these were all homes in the low 500s. So, at least like what I'm seeing right now, I don't know. It's just crazy. So for me, I think that right now, should you buy? Like I said, I don't really believe timing the market. I don't believe people should buy just because the rates are low. But I do think you should be aware of what they're giving you, what incentives are out there. A lot of people feel kind of like, well, rates are down. They're, at 6 point something right now too. But I think a lot of these new homes are really getting off their butts to give you some good promotions and good rate buy downs that could get you in there. What is it? About a point is roughly between 300 to 450 off your mortgage. So just think of it that way. But yeah, for me, I don't know. I was very, very impressed with this. Now, my team is actually going to be going to Rancho tomorrow to meet with Heba over at KHOV, and she's going to actually unveil a 3.75 program that they're going to be releasing as well too. So they're getting really aggressive. They've got, a lot of these builders who have standing inventory. I think they want to get rid of them. I think they don't want to go into, the end of the year with this inventory. So I think if you're someone who's out there, I think seasonally it is still a little slow, school starting, but I think the big hot stuff right now is new homes. And I do think that a lot of the interest rate buy downs are giving or just getting people off their butts to get into new homes. And I don't know if new homes are your thing, but it's really, really kind of interesting. Now, as far as the resale stuff goes, we're seeing let's jump into some of the slides right away. Boom. All right. So we're seeing rates. Now here's where it gets a little interesting is we shot up just a little bit. So some people might be thinking we're going to 7. Some people might be, we're going to go back down. I don't really know, but it's kind of one of those things where you should kind of think to yourself, where are rates going? How is this going to affect me? If you're very rate conscious, this should be something that's very interesting. Are we going back up to 7s, or are we going to be hanging around the 6s? So I don't know. It's going to be a very kind of interesting thing to watch. So this is kind of where we are. Like I said, this is kind of just the general movement of what we're seeing as far as interest rates down and then kind of going back up a little bit. So just be aware. The next thing is inventory levels. This is inventory levels in Sacramento County. And we're noticing inventory pile up just a little bit. I think the resale market, I think you're just seeing it just be a little, lukewarm in the resale market right now. And I just don't see there being a whole lot of movement. Some of the houses that, I see some stuff in Land Park in East Sacramento. Traditionally, they'd be moving and they're kind of sitting. So I do think that right now in the resale market, like I said, I think the 3.99s, new homes, 4.99s, and the incentives that they're giving at some of these builders are really like attractive. But I don't know if the 6s are going to get people really, jumping for joy and ready to jump into the resale market. There's too much of a difference right now between like going into like a KHOV for 3.99 interest rate or jumping into a resale home for like, 6.5. It just still isn't making sense. So I do think you're seeing inventory pile up a little bit. So if you are a seller, I'd probably say to you guys right now that like right now, don't be, especially if you're in the resale game, don't just see interest rates starting to go down and assume that all of a sudden the resale market is going to boom. I think it could later on down the road. I think, like some of these builders, like the KHOVs, they actually are putting their own kind of money into buying down the rate. And that can only last for a certain amount of time. So I do think that eventually, if we get down to the low 6s, high 5s, I think resales are going to just pop again. But if I was someone who's selling a house, I'd probably take my house off the market just for a little bit until I saw interest rates head down to the low 6s, high 5s. And I think then we could see a little bit of a spike. Hopefully it's going to get people to actually get off their butts and sell their homes as well too. I don't know. I think a lot of people have those 2.75s and they're just not really interested in basically selling their homes. I mean, if I'm wrong, let me know, but like that's kind of what we're seeing. So resale right now is still a little slow. And I said new homes are super hot. I think also it's community centric and area centric. I think Folsom Ranch is popping. I think you're not going to see that much incentives over there. I think Elk Grove's the same kind of way, although there is a lot of competition in Elk Grove, so you might see a little bit more incentives there. I think the areas, if you're looking for incentives, are the Vineyards area, West Roseville, Anatolia, Antelope. So those are the areas where you're probably going to get some really sweet buy down deals. Okay, so the question is right now for why are we seeing these low incentives? Do they really have to go to the 3.99? I do think that maybe the builders have overbuilt a little bit. I think people, I think it's going to be an interesting, I think a lot of people like I'm wondering, are the new home builders kind of in a little bit of trouble? And towards the end of this year, are you going to be able to get a smoking deal? I don't think they're going to be reducing pricing that much. If at all, because I think they're going to have a lot of angry people who bought new homes. But I do think you could see some crazy incentives going on. But still, too kind of early to tell. So that's kind of it. I would say right now, like, stay tuned for our video where we're going to unleash the 3.75 that KHOV is going to be doing starting, I think it is Friday. Now, another thing to note, too, if you're someone who's maybe moved into the Whitney Ranch area, or, Folsom Ranch or Elk Grove area, they have a lot of commercial developments that are popping right now. In Whitney Ranch specifically, they actually have a new commercial area that just got approved. And so you're going to have the Nugget, you're going to have some great shopping and everything too. Whitney Ranch is just an insane community. There's a lot of new home building over there too. And for the most part, if you lived in Whitney Ranch, you kind of knew you're either going to Lincoln or you're going to go to Roseville to do your shopping. So it's nice to see that there's going to be some shopping in Whitney Ranch. I think it's needed. Elk Grove, you're going to see Mendocino Farms. You're going to see some really nice shopping in Elk Grove as well too. And Folsom Ranch is going to be crazy. I mean, Folsom Ranch is probably the less in need spot because you have the Palladio so close by and you have a lot of big box stores. So just kind of be prepared for that. As far as the season goes, I do think we got to keep an eye on interest rates. If you're someone who's interest rate conscious, the biggest thing I can tell you if you're a buyer is, know your rate. Know what rate works for you to get the right house. If you're someone who is very rate conscious, you got to know exactly what that looks like as a mortgage payment. Don't just get involved and go, oh my God, I can get a 3.99. Look at what that monthly looks like. The monthly is going to really speak to you and make it where, it makes sense to you to buy. A lot of people, love the rate thing. Everyone's talking about the 2.75s and the 2.5s and 2.25s if you got a VA. But I do think the biggest thing you should be thinking about if you're thinking about buying a house should be your monthly payment and what that looks like. So for you guys, just know kind of the rates, monthly payments if you're going to go new homes, and keep in tune with the rates that are going on. Know your communities, know your areas, know how fast things are moving. Resale, like I said, is still a bit slow. I don't think it's picked up. I think a lot of people who are actually seeing these lower rates all of a sudden are getting carried into new homes. We've had so many people looking at new homes right now. It's probably more than they were looking at during the summertime. So we have a lot of people right now who are looking at new homes and are pulling the trigger. They're not even hesitating. They're seeing these insane deals and they're going for it. So just be aware that I do think that, right now there's something happening in the new home game. And if the new home market is what you like, what you're interested in, you might want to get out there with our team, of course. All right, so inventory's there. And now we're seeing price decreases. Now we are seeing some properties, not drastically, but we are seeing some decreases. Normally we see this as well too, because the sellers know at the end of the summer, this is the last hurrah before we get into the slower season. So you're seeing some decreases. What we're seeing also is houses that have been sitting for maybe like a month, 2 months. Those are the ones we're seeing some sort of decreases. But after a while, they're just kind of sitting there with the same price. Those things will probably fall off the market and they'll be probably relisted in spring. Like I said, one of the big things to note is if you really like a house, you think it's overpriced, just mark that address and just keep an eye on it. If it disappears and it doesn't get sold, it's still for sale. Maybe reach out to the realtor and see if you can work a deal. Okay. So as far as we go too, as far as my team specifically, what we've been working with is a lot of clients in their new homes. Investors also have been looking towards the new homes specifically. If you are an investor, I would say look at new homes, then look at the Rosemont area, look at Oak Park. I still love North Natomas because it's between the airport and it's near downtown Sacramento. We've worked with a lot of clients that have their portfolio specifically in Natomas or in the Rosemont area. Oak Park is another one. A's are coming into town for 3 years. So I do think that that's going to basically get us going in a good direction. So I would say right now, the market is interesting. It's still a little slow for resale. New homes, it's going. So let's get to the next one. Let's get to some questions and get you guys going for the night. Unless you guys have questions again about the market. Like I said, the market is shifting. Okay, so interest rates are dropping, so those are a good time to buy a house. Even the interest rate is low if the house is still overpriced, so not this time to buy. I'll say this, I think in the new homes right now, specifically in the $500,000 price range, I think the prices are pretty decent right now. I think, if you go to like the Vineyard area, Rancho area, I still think in Folsom Ranch, my favorite community over there for your first time home buyers is Canterley or Lariat. If you can get something in the sixes in Folsom, I think that's crazy. I think right now, those are the ones I'd be looking at. For resale, like I said, I still think that you've got to work with a realtor who knows pricing. Pricing is going to be very, very confusing to a lot of people who don't know the market. If you're someone who's moving from like, let's say the Bay Area here, and you're seeing something for like $600,000 and you're like, oh my God, $600,000, you can't find anything like this in the Bay Area. You might want to talk to a realtor and figure out exactly what the pricing looks like, the community, average price per square footage, how fast things are moving, how long it's been on the market as well too. Especially if you don't know the area. Sacramento is very, very interesting. Elk Grove is different than Natomas. Natomas is different than Rockland. El Dorado Hills, HOAs, Melrose, there's a whole different kind of thing when you work in the Sacramento area. So just kind of be prepared, but definitely be educated on the market. That would be the one thing that I would tell you guys right now. Pricing is going to be it, especially if you're in the resale market. Like I said, I think for the new homes, for standing inventory, man, I think people can get deals now, maybe even pushing toward, if interest rates keep going down, we might be able to see a little bit more of that towards the end of the year as well too. And now, we're starting to get to that point, honestly, like when we hit the low sixes, and I know we're back up a little bit, but when you have to ask yourself, is this the time to maybe buy and then refinance later? And that's for everyone to decide for themselves. Like I said, I'm a big believer in time of your life, not the market. For me, if I'm ever looking to buy a house, it's usually because we're outgrowing the one we're in, school district, family lives somewhere or whatnot. That's kind of when I look to buy. I'm not really if rates go down to like a 3, would I be thinking about buying? I wouldn't be thinking about buying. I think about maybe refinancing. So that would just be me. Time your life, don't time the market. And that's kind of it. All right, next one. Boom. Don't move to Rockland unless you can handle these 5 things. Just moved around the area, and it's a bit of a challenge adjusting how snooty and rude people are. Lived in southern states in the Midwest. Here's the thing. One of the main reasons why I moved to Sacramento from living in Marin County was because in Marin, it was a little snooty over there too. So it made me move to Sacramento. I think for the most part, and I'm sorry you had that experience in Rockland. I'll tell you something though. The crazy part for me is a lot of the people I've moved into Rockland are from the Bay Area or from other areas, and they're super excited about where they live. So I'd say give it another chance. I like Rockland. I've moved a ton of people into Rockland. But like I said, everyone's got, sometimes the neighbors just don't work, like for me, sometimes in Gold River, I got a clipboard Karen running down the street and it's not my cup of tea. But then again, I have amazing neighbors next door to me, across the street from me and everything too. So I think you just have to kind of understand that, some people just move in. So, I don't know how to hit that. What do you guys think? Do you guys think that Rockland has snooty people? I've never really bumped into any. All right, boom. Interest rates are dropping, so this is a good time to buy a house. Real estate agents are so hungry for sales. Yeah, I think, here's the thing. I think straight up, you do have to watch for someone who isn't focused on giving you the education part of the equation. I think a lot of people back in the day with Zillow, with Realtor.com and Redfin, people will go on these apps, see an address and say, basically, I want to see this house. They'd meet the realtor there, they'd show them the house, and then the question would be, well, do you like this house? Do you want to put in an offer? Now, the thing is, Sacramento gets so much traffic from the Bay Area, from LA, from Portland, and other areas. One of the big things that I hope realtors will focus on is the education piece to it. It does take a little while longer. It takes a whole lot more time to kind of do it. But you do it right. I mean, when we work with people, we go on tours. We go on Gilligan Island tours, 3-hour tours, and we take them everywhere. They pack water. Sometimes people are looking at Elk Grove and we head over to Roseville because the price point in the areas could be something they like. I do think that if you are moving into Sacramento, don't just see a couple of houses and call it a day and put in an offer. Have your realtor earn their money, show you areas, show you houses, and really kind of educate you. I believe, and this is in my heart of hearts, this is what I believe, that if you are working with a realtor, the realtor never has to turn to you and say, what do you think of this house? Do you want to make an offer do you want to make an offer on this house? The way we kind of work is a little bit different, right? We kind of show people a lot of houses, show people a lot of areas, answer a lot of questions. And then what we end up noticing is that eventually our clients will turn around to us and basically say, this is a house for us. We love it. We want to put in an offer, and they feel comfortable about it. And I think if people do more business that way, I think that people are going to feel a little bit more educated about their purchase, right? A house is great. It's pool, it's this and everything too, but there's so many factors like location, PG&E or SMUD, HOAs, Mellorews, wildlife, and all that kind of fun stuff. So just make sure you're getting the education piece of the puzzle, and make sure your realtor is definitely providing you that and they are working for their money. Okay. All right. We got Phil who says, don't buy now, wait. Here's the thing for me. You could lose if you buy now. You could lose if you wait. You could win if you buy now. You could win if you wait. I don't know. You have to ask yourself, what is the important part for you on buying a house? Is it something do you want to save? Are you got to get a 5% interest rate because your monthly is going to be there? Maybe you wait for that. Are you someone who basically is moving into Sacramento from the Bay Area and you need a house? You can't really wait. So unless you rent. So you just have to judge your own scenario. Everyone's different. I would say though, for me, one of the things about if I was looking to buy a house right this second, let's say for example, I was moving into Sacramento, I was going to make the move in a couple months and I needed to buy a house, I would probably be looking towards new homes to some of these low rates. That would just be me straight up. I still think the resale inventory, there's not anything really on the market that I'm looking at that's wow, except for our house in Gold River that we're listing. Other than that, there aren't any wow houses. I'm looking at these things. A lot of people haven't put a lot of work into their house. There's a lot of fixers. There's a lot of people just throwing houses on. It just doesn't excite me, right? So for me, if I was buying, I'd probably be looking in the new home sector right now, especially for their standing inventory. I still think that's where you look if you're looking for a new home. All right. What's a good interest rate? That's about right. Aaron and I did a video on Monday that actually is doing pretty well in the SEO YouTube stuff. And Aaron was basically saying that historically good interest rate is 5%. Now, that being said, I agree with that. I think historically wise, a 5% is a solid interest rate. I've seen them in the 3s, I've seen them in the 4s, seen them in the 7s. I think for you though, we put so much focus on interest rates. We're so interest rates sensitive, but I think it should be more monthly payment sensitive. I think that matters so much more because I remember my last upgrade, Aaron was like, you got a great rate, here's your pre-approval. And I was like, this is my monthly. This is what I want to stick to. And this is what tell me what I'm looking at. And he was good that way. So I'd say like, yes, interest rates are important. They're going to get in your head a little bit. A lot of people are going to talk about the 2.75s, but I do think straight up, the thing you should be worried about mostly is one, job security, money in the bank. And after that, it should be about what that monthly looks like. Don't plan on a refi. Don't plan on any of that stuff. Just look at the monthly. Look at how it fits into your life. If you can handle it, right? Don't stress yourself out when there does not need to be that much stress about it. Boom. All right. Is Elk Grove worth the money? Boom. We considered between Roseville and Elk Grove. We like Elk Grove because it's closer to the Bay Area. The only thing is safety. In our opinion, do you think Elk Grove's safe enough for elderly people? We're going to move up there in about a year or so. Here's what I'll say about Elk Grove. I've never heard of anyone having like tough troubles in Elk Grove, Elk Grove is like a suburb. For me, Elk Grove is like a giant suburb. Like Roseville is kind of the same way. I mean, I grew up in the Bay Area, so it was kind of like that. I would say Elk Grove, though, one of the things that I would do as far as like safety, as far as all that stuff too, I would look at police reports. I would look at like, there's an app called Newswire, and I would stick to the zip codes that I'm looking at. Those are the things that for me, I would look at. Like I would just make sure that I'm looking at everything humanly possible to gauge an area. Now another thing too, I would see an area specifically at nighttime, morning time, weekends. The other thing too is, and this is a huge thing that a lot of people don't do, but they should. When you're looking at a house, you get all enamored in the like curb appeal. You're loving the house. Before walking in the house, you should be looking around the neighbors, looking around the neighborhood and seeing how it feels to you, how comfortable you feel in that neighborhood. For me, that's the first thing that I did. When I was looking at my last upgrade, I was looking at the neighborhood. I was going morning, afternoon, night. I even knocked on a few doors to see how the neighbors were. For me, that was hugely important, and I was asking questions. Another thing you're going to notice too is if you're out looking at houses specifically, don't be afraid to go up to the neighbors. You're going to probably see people walking around because we in Elk Grove, Sacramento, wherever, we're always walking around. You're going to always bump into someone in the neighborhood and ask them questions. Feel them out a little bit. How's the neighborhood? Do you like it? Is it safe? Neighbors, I find that will give you kind of like an unbiased, because they have nothing in the game. They have no skin in the game. Your realtor is trying to like get you in a house. The people are trying to sell the house to you. There's no real like anything. Like a neighbor is kind of like saying to you, this is what I've encountered. This is it. They've got no skin in the game. And so I find that those tend to be really good resources if you're moving into an area. And for some reason, I don't know what it is, whenever we're showing houses, there's always neighbors that are curious about who's moving in. So spend a little time talking to the people who live there and try to get the real scoop on an area. All right. Boom. Sorry about that. I thought it was back here. Boom. All right. Next one. Thoughts. Let's go shopping. No rush. We want 2 or 3%. I wish I could give you 2 or 3%. It's a crazy, crazy market right now. I think, like I said, I think the new homes are so smart about their like interest rates right now. Like, it's just crazy. I mean, 3.99, 3.75s, 4.99s comparatively towards like what right now we're at 6.5. It's just nuts how kind of like hungry the new homes are for business. And like I said, we're going to showcase the 3.75 that K-House rolling out in our Friday video, but like, I don't know, it could get to the point where it's just not even competitive with the resales. So I don't know. It'll be interesting to see. And also, you guys, if you are looking for like new homes, if you are looking for like who has the hottest like deals, who has the best interest rates, who has the best like incentives, all that stuff too. I kid you not. We are always out there looking at new homes because right now it is the hot thing. Everyone loves new homes. We're out at Taylor at the Vineyard area. We're at Folsom Ranch. We're at Rockland. We're Whitney. We're everywhere there are new homes. Because of this channel, our team is always working with people in various areas. We're even in Woodland in some of the new homes as well too. So if that's you and you're thinking, I really want to know where the best incentives are, can I do something for maybe $500,000? Those are some of the calls we've been getting. And, we've been putting people in contract in new homes, getting them the best incentives, the best interest rates, and negotiating some smoking deals for them. So if that's you and new homes are your thing and, you're thinking about buying, but you don't know where to start, you're thinking to yourself like, I want a new home. I'm hearing there's great incentives. I just don't know how to get started. All you got to do is give me a call or send me an email. Normally, we'll probably be out at a new home community and we'll let you know what we've been seeing. I can tell you one thing is our team tends to be, because there's 5 of us, we tend to be all over the place. Like Nikki's like in Elk Grove. I'm over in Roseville. Ashland's over like downtown area. I mean, like we're everywhere. So we can tell you exactly what we're seeing and what plays into what you're looking for. So if you're an investor, you're looking for maybe something amazing. If you're looking for a primary home, if you're on a budget, if you want to know what are these hot incentives, let us know. All right, next one. Boom. New homes in Sacramento. I like the Vineyard area, especially as a way to enter the market and enjoy a new home as well. All right, so Nikki, like I said, she actually put someone in on Beezer. And we're working with another client to try to get them in Beezer as well too. Beezer's out in Vineyards. You got Richmond out in Vineyards. You got Taylor out in Vineyards as well too. The Wild Hawk area is nice. The Vineyard area is really, really nice too. Elk Grove Unified School District, Lower Melrose and Elk Grove. Vineyard area is nice too. Like I said, if you're looking for a brand new home, if you're looking for something in the low 500s or maybe even like, and with a smoking interest rate, the Vineyard area definitely right now, we're seeing some amazing incentives and some amazing deals in that area. All right. Are recession fears stopping you from buying? 100%. That I got no, that I really have no like answer for. I get it. And like I said, if it's me and I'm looking to buy a house, my first thing is that first I want to check out my rental situation. How's my rental situation? Some people have great rental situations and there's just nothing you can say except you got a great rental situation. Save up there, save enough money until you're ready to go. I would say though, job security, money in the bank, you know, that kind of thing is huge, huge, huge. I mean, we're seeing some crazy stuff happen in the Bay Area. We're seeing NVIDIA. We're seeing like the jobs report come out as well too. I mean, you know, it's really, there's a lot of stuff out there that's really getting in people's, you know, that are realities of what's happening in our economy. So just kind of say to yourself, maybe this is the time for me. Maybe this isn't. I think starting with a stable job, money in the bank is a great place to start. And then your rental situation, if you're renting still, or if you're in a house maybe and you got a 2.75 and you might be thinking to yourself, you know, like I really want a bigger house, but my job's not perfect. I'm a little freaked out about the recession. Maybe you stay put in a 2.75. I mean, there's worse things in life than that. All right. Are you under 6.5 interest rates, putting you back in the home buying game? I'm buying cash. Okay, so let's talk a little bit about this. Cash buyers. If interest rates start dropping, cash is less king in real estate. If interest rates start dropping, you're going to see demand push up. Just how it is. Interest rates are going to like get people back into the game or get people more interested because they can buy more house. So if you're a cash buyer, you know, not a great thing, but you do definitely want interest rates to go up. If they start going down, it's competitive. A lot of people I talk to as well too, they're like, I'm all cash. I'm like, I get it, but like you honestly have to be like, you know, even if you're all cash, a lot of clients of mine, a lot of sellers would rather take a conventional loan, $20,000 more than a cash offer and a quick close. This is the way it kind of is. Hey guys, hopefully you enjoyed this broadcast. Smash that like button. I'm taking a little bit of a break. It would really mean a lot. And share the video, share the channel. We'd love to get it out there and everything too for you guys. And this is Boots on the Ground. And before we get into any more questions, all the comments and questions that came into the site, the reason why I come on every Wednesday at 7 o'clock is because our market is changing. We have about 30,000 new homes being built in Folsom, 30,000 new homes being built in Elk Grove. We got 30 being built in Roseville. We got homes being built in West Sacramento. And then around us, we got houses being built in Linda, in Lincoln, Antelope. So we got houses going everywhere. Our market is changing almost on a week-to-week basis. Interest rates are just one little part of the game. We have new shopping malls being built as we speak. We have new highways being adjusted for our growth. Sacramento is on a huge, huge growth spell. So the reason why I wanted to do these live broadcasts for you on Wednesday at 7 was to give you a little bit of a snapshot of what myself and my team have been going through for the last week. A lot of the videos you see, even mine, that are maybe from last year or even 6 months ago, in our market as we see it right now are somewhat irrelevant. So hopefully you guys tune into this show. If you have questions, if maybe you're thinking about buying in a week, a month, or maybe the end of this year, this is the show to tune into because this is when we give you exactly a snapshot of the real estate market. So hopefully that helps you guys out. And hopefully with that, you'll throw a like my way. All right, next one. Boom. Thoughts. Let's go shopping. A lot of people are going shopping, but I'm telling you, man, they're loving the new homes to go shopping right now. And who could blame them? Right now, like I said, a lot of people, and what you're going to see is a lot of push in marketing from builders. Even right now, I've been hearing at Toll Brothers are offering what's called a high 4% interest rate for some of their standing inventory at Regency. So I do think right now, if you are a new home lover, if you're someone who's thinking about buying a new home, this could be a good time. Now, here's a thing where it gets a little interesting, right? So if rates start to dip even more, let's say for some reason in a month or so, we're in low sixes, high fives, and we have additional demand coming into the market. And all of a sudden, all these people coming to the market are seeing the resale. That's, we're still low on resale. They're seeing some resale, but they're going to go to the new home builders. And all of a sudden, the new home builders are like, wow, okay, all our standing inventory is being sold like crazy because low interest rates, and because it's renewed demand. All of a sudden, you could see incentives go away. So like I said, I'm hoping that, the buyers get a little bit of a break during the holiday season with the new homes, and you guys can take advantage of, the inventory that's probably going to be standing. But I just don't know. I mean, if interest rates drop like drastically, if we see it drop and we're in the fives for some reason, I mean, all those new homes are probably going to be gone. And then all of a sudden the incentives are going to go with them. So just keep in tune with what the new home's going on, and keep in tune with interest rates. And I know, I always say time your life, don't time the market, but there's so many people right now that are interest rate conscious that I'm telling you guys, just it's weird, 6.99 drove the market. If we get to a thing where it's like 5.99, as far as resale goes, and then all of a sudden people start getting out there, look a little bit more, and all of a sudden they see that Richmond American's offering a 4.99. I don't know. I think we're going to see a lot of demand come our way. So just keep in mind, interest rates, there is going to be that number where all of a sudden demand hits the market, even if it's Thanksgiving, Halloween, or whatnot. All right, who wins the battle of new homes? All right, this is a good one because a lot of people we work with as well too. They like Folsom, they like Elk Grove, they like Roseville, they like Rancho, they like all these spots, right? So I would say this. Well, let's go over this comment. Well, Folsom may be on sale in the near future with Intel dropping off a cliff. I choose Folsom, but Rockland is still a better choice. Okay, so here's what I'll say about Folsom. What you're seeing is Folsom. Okay, so Folsom was really heavily reliant on Intel. But Folsom, I would say right now, with the new commercial they're building, with all the new infrastructure, schools and everything too, you're going to see Folsom kind of stand on its own legs. It's going to be less Intel heavy, and there's going to be probably other players coming into the spot. You already got a couple of Kaisers there. You got Dignity over there. You have UC Davis over there as well too. So I do think that Folsom in the near future is going to be less reliant on Intel. And I think, basically Folsom's on fire right now. And I think, even if Intel drops off a cliff, which I don't think they will, I still think Folsom is one of those spots that a lot of people who live outside the Sacramento area love it. They think of the lake, they think of the resort lifestyle, and they just love Folsom. And I'm seeing less people who are choosing Folsom because they work at Intel, and more people because they're just seeing amazing houses and amazing lifestyle in Folsom. You never know. Now, as far as Rockland goes, Whitney Ranch, one of my favorite communities. I mean, $82 HOAs or something like this, with the best pool scene, bar none. Just a great HOA, great community. People are driving golf carts to pick up their kids, and you got Whitney Oaks with the golf course. Toll Brothers built Skyline and Oak Crest out there as well too. Rockland's fantastic as well too. So I don't know. I've also always seen Folsom and Rockland kind of being the same kind of thing. It just matters for me what freeway you like and where you work. I think it's location. But I would say out of those two, we get more calls for Folsom than we do for Rockland. And for new homes, Folsom Ranch is just, I don't know. I mean, we got Woodside that's going to start building there. The KB community is already on fire, Esquire. Taylor's still going to be building over there. We got Toll Brothers Preserve. Although Toll Brothers Preserve isn't doing as great as they did at their opening, they're still doing pretty good. They had a couple reductions, which were interesting. So I don't know. I would say, though, right now, if you're looking at Rockland, I'd say, and you're looking for maybe 700-ish, I'd say Rockland's a good bet for a new home. If you're looking for a house in Folsom and your primary home, Folsom Ranch, I'd say under 650 around there. I'd say Tri Point, Canterlot, or Lariat. Or you're probably looking over 700, 750 in Taylor Morrison, or what's called Beezer's out there as well too. Lennar's out there as well too. Then you got to decide if you want Russell Ranch or if you want Folsom Ranch. Russell Ranch, you got the HOA, you got the pool and all that stuff in the clubhouse, and Folsom Ranch, you don't. So I don't know. It's an interesting vibe over in Folsom. But yeah, I don't know. Folsom's still pretty hot. All right, new homes in Sacramento area under 500. Great for a rental. Guys, more and more investors are going the new home route. And with good reason. If you buy a new home, yes, you have Melrose, and every investor I talk to hates the Melrose thing. There's not really a lot of people that like Melrose, to be honest. I think a lot of that is getting sloughed to the buyer now, more and more by the builder. Like KBs are like over 400 in like Elk Grove. And then you got Woodside and Rancho that's over 400. You don't even see that in Folsom Ranch. So I don't know. That's another thing. But I will say, though, this right now we're seeing a lot of investors, cash buyers, jump into investment properties in areas like, like West Roseville. We got investors looking at Antelope for the price point. They're buying them all over the place. So I would say if you're an investor and you're thinking about Sacramento, I would say look at some of the investment, like some of the communities we've been mentioning on this channel, right? Like Richmond American over in Vineyard. I'd say Elk Grove's a good bet for an investment. We have Apple over there and it's closer to the Bay Area than any other spot in the Sacramento area. I do like West Sacramento. I think Century Communities out there is pretty good as well too for investment properties. I don't know. I do like this market, Sacramento, for investment homes. And I think a lot of people have made a lot of money and have a lot of portfolio and a lot of properties here in Sacramento that are rentals. In fact, a lot of realtors do, and lenders as well too. All right, who wins the battle of new homes? Folsom, West Sacramento. A lot better comes to cheap price in homes, or 1 bedroom, 1 bath apartments, or 2 bedroom, 1 bath small craftsman houses. Like I said, Folsom's hot. And West Sacramento is an area a lot of people don't consider, but I do think in the future what you're going to notice about Sacramento downtown is that there are going to be more entry points between West Sacramento and downtown Sacramento. I do think the A's coming into town for 3 years. I think that's going to boost our economy as well too downtown. We love our sports. We love the Kings. We're going to love the A's. And I think that West Sacramento is one of those areas that you get the Delta Breezes, really nice homes over there too. They're starting to jump into their luxury market too with houses on the water. I like West Sacramento. I think it's a good spot. And I think the Century community over there too. I think it's they have 2 communities right now, Trailside, I think, and Riverside. Well, whatever. 2 communities out there that have really, really nice floor plans, very open, not a whole lot of backyard space, but honestly, what you're seeing in West Sacramento is they're catering more towards the downtown kind of urban vibe. And it's nice. Like I was out there with a client and he's closing on his house this month in Century, and the vibe there is really nice. He's works downtown and he's like, this is exactly what him and his wife are looking for. So I cannot be happier for them. And I think West Sacramento is definitely one of those spots. If you are looking to be close to downtown Sacramento, if you want something that's kind of an up and coming location, I would check out Century. They're kind of a new builder to the Sacramento area, but Century now is building. Where are they building? They're building in Lincoln as well, 2 communities over there. Diane, a friend of mine, is working over there. Century is building in West Sacramento. I know they're building in one other spot as well too, but they're a new one, just like Pulte was a couple of years ago. So not a new builder, but a new builder to the Sacramento area. All right, let's talk a little bit about polls. And like I said, if you guys have any questions, just let me know. Who wins? Time on the market or time of your life? Thank you guys. 81%. You guys are listening. That makes me so happy. And for that, like the video. It would mean a whole lot to me. Share it, please. Comment. Okay. So one of the things that Nikki and I talk about almost on a daily basis is the fact that the stock market is so volatile and it is so going to impact our housing market. So yet another thing, I think, we're seeing some major companies in the Bay Area flare up as well too. How that's going to impact our market is going to be interesting because we do have a lot of the tech people coming into the Sacramento area who work remote. So I don't know. It's going to be an interesting one. All right. Who's the winner with low interest rates? Resale or new homes? Ooh, okay. I like this. Resale homes. So a lot of people, 49 votes, said that they're still interested in resale. So that's an interesting thing. What do you guys think? Do you guys like resale homes or do you guys like new homes? I want to hear if you guys, let me know in the comments. All right. Kev is offering 3.99 for the next few weeks until the funds run out. Like I said, I talked to Heba over there too, a really nice lady, salesperson, and she said to swing in with my team tomorrow. So we're gonna do a video, and she's like, I'm gonna let you guys be the first to know about our 3.75 promotion. I have no idea what it is, but I will know tomorrow, and I will release the video on Friday for you guys. Boom. Ugh, God, sorry about the typo. Real estate rates, real rated keeps. Oh my gosh, my typos are horrible. Sorry about that. Are they going to keep dropping? Yes, except for today where they went up a little bit. All right, are recession fears stopping you from buying? Yes. The recession is going to be louder and louder with all these things we see, the stock market, job reports. Like I said, time your life, don't time the market. Like I said, if you're not feeling comfortable in your job, if you're not feeling comfortable, even though these are great rates they're offering at the new homes, even though you're watching videos on YouTube about buying a home, don't do that stress to yourself. It's just not worth it. Boom. Are 6.5 interest rates putting you back in the home buying game? 34% said yes. 66% said no. What we're seeing though is those people who are at under 6.5, we're seeing a lot of them go to new homes. I know resale homes, it's good, but I'm just not seeing that resale inventory that I'm liking right now. So, except for our house in Gold River, of course, but 6.5, I think, people are off the fence and they're kind of interested in buying. I hope we get closer to maybe 5s sometime towards the end of this year. It would be a crazy, if we get into 5s, if there's something like legitimate, not that stuff that you see like 5.99 on a 15-year. If we see a legitimate 5 and it lasts at least for a couple weeks, we are going to see crazy demand. I do think so. I don't know if we're going to see too many sellers like say 5.99, I'm going to throw my house up for sale. But I do think we're going to see a big push of buyers coming into the market. I don't know if 6s are going to do it, but I definitely think 5s are. All right, who wins the Battle of the New Homes? Folsom, Roseville, Elk Grove. Wow, okay, we got Folsom winning this one. It's 52%. And then we got Elk Grove followed by Roseville. Oof, all right. Who loves the food scene in Sacramento? 84% said yes. I love the food scene in Sacramento. I love the, the food scene here in Sacramento has never let me down. I come from like the Bay Area, lived in San Francisco, House of Nanking in San Francisco. But for me, the food scene has not let me down in Sacramento. The other thing too about Sacramento that I find really nice is the fact is because we are farm to table capital. So I love the idea of getting fresh vegetables and actually cooking. I've gotten this resurgence of like growing veggies and cooking, which I didn't get back in the day. So I'm really excited about it. Boom. All right. So we got this. We have one more that I don't have. All right. We're going to end the program early tonight at 45 minutes. Hopefully you guys are enjoying this show. Hopefully it's bringing you guys a little bit of information, a little bit about knowledge about the market as we see it. Now, I'm here for your questions. So if you guys do have questions about communities, about areas, interest rates, or what we're seeing in the market right now, please feel free to bring them to our Wednesday live shows. These shows are doing really, really well. We're getting a lot of traffic and traction on these shows. If there are some people that you think might be valuable to bring on the show as guests, I'd love to hear it. We're in the process right now of possibly building out a studio and bringing on more guests. I'd love to see people who are, maybe commercial real estate agents. I want to bring on Dan Loesch again, who's doing like amazing ADU building and just renovations. I want to bring on some landscapers for you guys. I want to bring on all these people so you'll know that if you do jump into a new home and you want to get your backyard landscaped, what that costs. I want you guys to know the difference between the builders. I want you guys to know difference between the areas and difference between the prices that you're going to be spending in the Bay Area as far as contractors and in Sacramento. It's huge. Now, if you guys are like me, one of the biggest things or one of the biggest issues people are talking about right now is HOAs. HOAs, if I put up a short regarding HOAs, it blows up. People are not liking HOAs. And what I'm going to tell you right now is with all the new home communities, I would say maybe 20 to 30% are going to be HOAs. So if you guys are fans of HOAs, let me know in the comments. And if you are not fans of HOAs, please let me know by giving me a big thumbs up on this video. I'm not a huge fan of HOAs, even though I live in Gold River with HOAs, but I'd really, really love to see your input. And if you guys are not big fans of HOAs, like I said, smash that like button. Let me know. All right. Question. I just bought a new home and found out SunPower Solar is filing for bankruptcy. I paid cash on it. Bummer. I hope I still get solar or refund maybe. I've actually seen that happen. Okay, so I will tell you this. What ends up happening is someone might pick up the solar. Yeah, they might sell it off. So if you, I don't think you're going to be as in trouble. I think the company is probably going to get bought out by someone else, and you should be fine. Let me know who's the builder you built with, or who's the builder that you got SunPower with. Because normally, if it was me, I'd probably go directly to the builder. We had this situation not a long time ago, 3 years ago at Black Pines, right? We actually got someone in a contract with a new home from Black Pines. The solar provider went bankrupt. And what ended up happening is the builder actually paid to basically take care of that situation. And they got someone to actually go out there and maintain the solar for our client. So that's kind of what we did. And that was with Black Pines, Maine. That was about in Crocker Village. And that was about 2.5 years ago. So hopefully that helps a little bit. All right, boom. Solar. Okay. Is there a decent rental market in El Dorado Hills or Grant Bay? Grant Bay, I would say probably Grant Bay is a little bit more of a strong rental market than El Dorado Hills. El Dorado Hills just isn't that close to a lot of commercial. A lot of people like who are living or working in Intel or working downtown often kind of settle for like the Folsom area. El Dorado Hills tends to be a little bit further out. I haven't seen a really amazing popping rental market in El Dorado Hills. Like I said, though, if you have a specific like address, I can have our team run comps for you. But if it was me, I would probably be looking somewhere like maybe like the Folsom area. I know that's still pretty hot. Granite Bay, I'd say, is a great spot if you can get something in Granite Bay. I'd say the schools pull a lot of people into Granite Bay. Also, because Roseville is right next to Granite Bay, Roseville has a very strong, I call them economic hubs, because you got a lot of businesses over there as well too. So I like that. Now, I know what you're going to think. You're going to say, well, El Dorado Hills isn't that far from Folsom. I know, but what I'm seeing though is a majority of people who are working in Folsom like to live in Folsom. A lot of them don't want to rent in El Dorado Hills because of the drive, even though it's not that far. So that's kind of what I would say to you. If it was between El Dorado Hills for a rental, I would say Grant Bay, but I'd also throw in Folsom in that as well too. Crowd control. What kind of price point are you thinking for your rental? All right. Hey, Wendy, how you doing? I know we're both Gold River sufferers. I know HOAs aren't a big thing. I'm not a big fan of HOAs. I mean, I do understand their purpose, and I love the idea that everywhere else is green around here too. But I mean, it's just really crazy. In my HOAs, they can even tow you if you have a car there parked a little too long too. And guess who pays for the tow truck? The people who are paying the HOAs. So HOAs are brutal. Like I said, I'm not a big HOA fan. In fact, for us, the thing is, we chose Gold River because my wife's family lives close here. My daughter goes to Gold River Discovery and everything too. And when we were looking, it was just slim pickings. There weren't a lot of things. We're looking in Folsom. We're looking in Fair Oaks. We're looking in Gold River. We looked a little bit in Lincoln. And, we were looking in various areas, Cameron Park actually as well too. And we just couldn't find the perfect house. And then, accidentally, I was just, we're looking at Gold River and I pulled into my house and I looked at it and I saw that I was a 2-story house and all my neighbors were single stories. And for some weird reason, because all my neighbors were like 4 feet below the fence line on my house, I have no neighbors viewing, no nothing. And I was like, this is a rare house. So I went for it. The only negative I can say for me the only negative aspect for me has been the HOA. And that's something that I wish I could change. I can't. I mean, it's definitely a topic of conversation in our house at least once every couple of days. And I know a lot of people that I run into have that kind of same issue. All right. eCrypto, starting to look at Rockland, mostly because I hear the schools in the area are good. If I were even to move out, how is the rental market there? Okay. The rental market in Rockland, I think, is okay. I don't think it's fantastic. I think Roseville is a little bit stronger of rental market. I think Rockland, it just doesn't have Rockland has great houses, And if you look at like go to greatschools.org and look at like Whitney High School and Rockland, if you look at the high schools there, people love the schools in Rockland. The only thing for me is that the rental market isn't super strong in Rockland. I'd say Roseville, solid, economic hub, close to everything. I'd say eventually, though, I think Rockland is going to, with that new kind of Whitney Ranch community thing, the commercial area they're building, I think it's just a matter of time. The other thing, too, is like areas like Lincoln that are just a little bit past Rockland as well, too. Their rental market isn't as strong as other rental markets that are closer to things. Like if you're looking to get a rental, right, you want to be close to like hospitals. You want to be close to like, government buildings. You want to be close to big economic like areas. People don't really want to drive that far if they're coming into the area to work. So if you have someone who's working like, let's say at the Kaiser in Roseville, and we got a bunch of them there, they're going to want to work kind of close to that Kaiser because of the hours and because of the commute. Same thing in Folsom. In Folsom, you're going to have all those medical buildings. Dignity is going to be over there, what's called UC Davis. You got all that stuff going on there. So that's kind of why I like Folsom for that. Now, the other one I like too is the Rosemont area. If you're not totally into like new homes, the Rosemont area, the College Green area or Glen area over there too near Sacramento State. I think the area is nice. I think you can get a 4-bedroom, 2-bath for like under $500,000. No Melrose, no HOA. They're not like brand new homes. They're old school ranch style homes, but because like all the rentals over there get eaten up by college students, the rentals over there are really, really in high demand. And so the rental rate is crazy over there in that area. Like I said, I've shown a lot of people the Rosemont area, and they're just like, we show them a little new homes, we show them a little resale, and the Rosemont area doesn't really pique their interest. But as far as little bit money boxes, those Rosemont houses are. I've seen a lot of Sac State students actually jump into their first 4 and 2 in the 400s. They jump into their primary bedroom and they rent out the other 3, and they make, they do pretty well for themselves. The other area too that I like for rentals, I've always said this, is Natomas. I think Natomas is doing great. I love the idea that you have Amazon out there, and Natomas, especially North Natomas, is located between the airport and downtown Sacramento. A lot of people, and it's in Sacramento proper, where if someone doesn't know Sacramento at all and they're thinking about coming into the area and they want to find a rental, they don't know Roseville, they don't know Elk Grove. I'm sorry, they just don't. They know Sacramento, and so they'll do a search. I'm looking for a 3 and 2 in Sacramento for this, and Natomas stuff comes up. So that's kind of why I love the North Natomas area. Yes, you will have to pay about $100 in flood insurance, but I also like the area of North Natomas because everything tends to be a little newer there. The buildings just tend to be newer. So North Natomas is another one that I like for rentals. But like I said, I think Granite Bay, you got the schools there. You've got the location. It's close to everything. I always tell people this, for me, Granite Bay is one of the most... The reason why I like Granite Bay isn't because Eddie Murphy lived there or the houses are amazing there. I love the central location. Granite Bay is one of the rare areas in the Sacramento metro area that gives you access to the 50, give you access to the 80, right? You can even go the back roads to Loomis if you want to. And for me, that's really, really rare. For me, living in Gold River, I have access to I can be in Folsom in 15 minutes, El Dorado Hills quick, downtown quick. But for me, going to Roseville, that's 40 minutes. Rockland, 45 minutes. Granite Bay is central. And I love that about Granite Bay. The location of Granite Bay is just so primo because it's first, you've got a great area where greenery, you're close to Folsom Lake and everything too. But the thing that really, really does it for me about Granite Bay is that you have access to 80 and the 50. This is kind of why I think a lot of doctors that we work with love the Granite Bay area. Well, the security, the privacy too, but because it's such a nice central location. So if it was me, like I said, eCrypto, don't get me wrong, love El Dorado Hills, but if I'm looking for somewhere that's a little bit more central to everything, yet still has that kind of the name factor in the schools, Granite Bay all the way. All right. Boom, boom, boom. All right, guys, if you guys have any more questions, let me know. If not, I'm going to let you guys go for the evening. Hopefully enjoy this one. And like I said, bring your questions. My team, we do a lot of transactions over the course of the year. And we sell. And that's kind of one of the things I would kind of want you guys to understand, that most realtors they're I live in Gold River, so I just sell in Gold River. Or I live in Rockland, so I sell in Rockland. If you've ever gone on Zillow or ever checked out the sales of my team, we sell everywhere. We even have a house coming up in Guayinda in a month. So we sell in Grant Bay. You know, we've listed and sold houses in Grant Bay, West Sacramento, Elk Grove, Natomas, Vineyard, Rockland, Roseville, Lincoln, Linda, you know, Yuba City even. So we have this wide kind of like net. So when people are thinking about coming into the Sacramento area, you know, not only can we say to you, oh, you might want to check this out, but we can also say we've actually sold there. We know good communities out there, and this could really work for you. So I don't know. Crowd control. Mill Valley versus Grant Bay. Who wins, Mark? Laugh out loud. Honestly, I love Mill Valley back in the day, but Mill Valley, now I go to Mill Valley, and it's just like, I don't, you know, I love Marin. I loved growing up in Marin, but I don't recognize Marin anymore. It's a little too bougie for me, I guess you can say. So I would say I like Grant Bay. I think Grant Bay is really nice. I think the communities over there, and I know it was a joke, but I'm going to continue on this. I think Mill Valley is nice. It's kind of like a hilly area. I don't even know where I'd say Mill Valley is a little bit more, it kind of looks a little bit more like, I don't even know where you describe it. Like maybe a little bit more like El Dorado Hills, but kind of like if you're going towards Folsom Lake, not like the Serrano area. But I do like Mill Valley. I think it's nice. I just think that, like, you know, it's just the atmosphere there wasn't what it was before. I mean, I loved growing up there. And for me, everyone living there, you know, it's just, we had a modest lifestyle there, and it was old Marin, and now new Marin just doesn't really work for me. And that's kind of why I like the Sacramento area. Now for Granite Bay, if you're someone who's looking for like an estate style home, if you're looking for something that's close to Folsom Lake, I don't know. Honestly, like Granite Bay is pretty awesome. It's pretty sweet. If you're looking for like, if you were back in the day, you watched MTV Cribs and you said, one day I'm going to get that house. You can get that house in Grant Bay. I mean, Eddie Murphy lived there, and it's pretty nice. So that's what I'll say about Grant Bay. Thanks, Crowd Control. That was a good question or comment to end the segment. You guys hopefully enjoyed this live. And like I said, if you have any questions about anything I've mentioned, if you have any further questions, by the way, please, let me know. I'm always available for a good call. And like a lot of people know, it doesn't mean you have to work with me. It just means that you have a question about the area and you just want to get the insights from someone who's sold and does real estate here. And that's it. All right, guys, enjoy your evening. Again, if you have any questions, or if you want to go out looking for a house, or if you're looking to sell your home, like I said, we've sold 8 homes with YouTube videos. I kid you not, 8 of them. And yours could be number 9. Reach out to my team. All right, guys, enjoy your evening. Have a good one. And I will see you in the next video. This can be released Friday, where we unveil KHOV's latest interest rate promotion. It's going to be crazy. We're going to go out there and film it tomorrow. Talk to you soon. Guess what, guys? The video just ended. But don't worry, we have more videos just like that one right over there. And if you missed that red subscribe button during the course of the video, we got you covered right there. Hit that subscribe button. We promise to bring you some amazing content. We won't let you down. Now, if you're looking for a team in the Sacramento metro area to work with, we'd love to talk to you one-on-one. We always include a Zoom link down below, so book a time where we can talk to you a little one-on-one, find out exactly what your real estate needs are.